thank you all because from the email that Mike and Denard and I got said that you all requested this. That the three of us would share a space, and so I want to thank you all for just um, honoring us as facilitators, and even taking in, being open to what we share. As facilitators. So I just thank y'all for that. I don't know, Mike, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, yeah, it's really it's humbling and a beautiful verification. I was going to say validation, but it's a beautiful verification that, what it is that I do, what it is that Czar does, what it is that Denard does, not only like resonate among each other, but also it, I'll just say the general word works. It works. You
Mhm.
wouldn't want to put together people whose invitations and whose practices and whose offerings and services don't support you. You wouldn't say, "Oh, let's put somebody who doesn't work with somebody who does, and let's see what kind of magic happens." So it's a
Mhm.
beautiful thing to get that kind of acknowledgement. So thank you.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So our hearts out to you all, for this. And again, welcome in everybody that has just joined us since we gotten started. We were trying to, just in real words, stall a little bit because we was waiting on Dinar.
Hmm.
But he's not he's not here right now. Still hoping everything is all right, you know. But we kind of want to get into it. Mike, I want you to do you want to kind of lay this out for us? Just kind of like give an introduction of where we're headed with this, what we're doing, where we're
Yeah,
going with this.
yeah. So it's called. It's named the way that it is because it just kind of like pings off of each of our particular styles when it comes to how we care for y'all, what we want to offer y'all in terms of skills, and also what we want to offer y'all in terms of what to integrate as a part of your healing journey. So there's the sensational, relational, inspirational journey. Since we're doing this over 3 weeks, what we thought is, okay, we'll have the three of us available for the different phases of a trajectory of healing. So
Mhm.
as a lot of y'all know, healing is something that's continuously happening because wounding is continuously happening. And when you finish
Mhm.
with repairing one wound, there's another one that starts to call out like, okay, send resources over here, please, and then you start to tend to that one as well. And so the way that we're doing this, it's over 3 weeks. And so I figured that we would focus each one of these weeks on a particular phase of that trajectory. So this first one being the very beginning of like what I'm calling a wounding event. And so the wounding event can be something that's happened that wounded, but what I'm talking about in terms of the wounding event itself is when we become like explicitly aware of it, when we directly experience that wound, the beforehand of that, and then soon after. So that would be the beginning part. Like I just discovered that my partner cheated, or I'm just realizing that we're not going to work together, or whatever it is that's like, okay, now I hit it. There's some things that happened before that, some little maybe signs that were coming up beforehand, little feelings that were coming up beforehand. And then soon after, there's like a really this tiny little part of aftermath where it's like I've come to the realization of it, I've experienced it, and now I have to come to terms with it. And this is that beginning part that I'm speaking to. The second week being more of that middle part. Okay, now I've kind of come to terms with it, and now I'm doing things to either tend to it or run away from it. We're in this middle part of that healing journey where it's like I've made sense. I need to make more sense of this. I have to start to integrate all the things that I've learned and all the information that I've gotten from the beginning part. I have to now start moving in my life a little bit differently than I had before. Because before I didn't know certain things. Now I know some more things. And so the middle part is going to be focused on next week is going to be focused on this middle part. And then there's the ending. The wound is closing up pretty well. It's scarring over pretty good. There might still be a little bit of pain in there, but we're coming to the ending part of this of healing the wounding. And so that last part is how do you go through that quote unquote finish line? How do you really make sure that you continue feeding your attention and resources and tending to this wound so that it can really heal and not just, oh, well, it's almost healed. Let me just go away from it and then it'll open up again or get some more invasive agents into it or whatever like that. So that would be the ending part and that would be the third. the third week. So that's the overall that I've been kind of sitting with when it comes to working with the three of us doing this together.
Yeah, yeah. And I'll say that the two and a half of us because the other one ain't here yet. Yeah, we're gonna milk this. We're gonna milk.
This is probably gonna have to be a wound that we heal in real time.
Yeah, yeah. Real time. Real time. And I want to add to what he's saying too, like when we talk about healing, these aspects of healing, and some of you have heard in my rooms, and I'm sure you've heard throughout circles, and that word healing, and like how Mike was saying that this is something that you find yourself continually doing. The word healing actually means return to wholeness. All
Mm-hmm.
right. And so that's what all of this is really doing, return to wholeness, because we have these ebb and flows, right? We have these breaches, we have these things that happen to us, whatever that might be, whether it's the breakup, whether it's just you stumped your toe, whatever it might be. We have
Mm-hmm.
these breaches and things that have happened. And so that return to healing is really a drawing from the healthiest parts of ourselves, or getting back to the healthiest parts of ourselves. When we face trauma, when we face critical life incidents or different things, it has a tendency to kind of disconnect us from ourselves in some kind of way, or if and if we let it, it can get really bad, and turn into an illness or something that's like a
Mm-hmm.
true mental illness or something that we're having to face. So just kind of keep those things in mind as we navigate these next few weeks, that all of this is about a return to wholeness, and you all have, or even a staying connected with wholeness, depending on where you are in this. But you all have heard us say, and I know you've heard me say, I want to see us heal for real, Mike. I want to
Mm-hmm.
see the
Right.
real healing for real, not this hardness stuff that we be doing
Mm-hmm.
in society, but to really truly heal for real.
Right. Yeah,
You know?
a sustainable healing, a part that leaves us still organic beings and not like partially robotic or bionic in that way, where it's like, okay, this is just an automatic process when my organic human self is very responsive and very what's that? The range of motion is much larger when
Hmm.
it comes to being able to get to that wholeness rather than, oh, I'm going to put a mechanical supplement in the place of actual tending and healing.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Even though it did sound attractive when you were talking about the bionic, because I just thought about give me a bionic, be the bionic man. Do y'all remember that?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. The $6 million man, we can repair him.
Yeah, yeah. I hope I
Uh-huh.
ain't aging myself. But
But when I think about bionic, I'm like, I go down that trajectory of Wall-E and all those
oh,
floating seats
hmm,
and ooh, and how we were just in little cocoons of um, hey, have everything do all this stuff for us rather than us actually responding to life the way
yeah,
that we can only respond to life through
yeah.
us being life.
Us being life, tapping it. So there you go, y'all. Y'all gonna hear all of the stuff that y'all are used to hearing from us. These words like authentic, being authentically you, what that really looks like, taking intentionality and being responsible for our pieces of things, and kind of navigating life in this way where we are active. What's that word I be thinking? Where we're taking agency
Hmm.
in our lives and not just letting everything be all automatic. All right. You know, how do you want to do this, bro? How do you think we should, how should we go about?
Well, I mean, most of the people up in this room know me. I do this through questions.
There we go.
So,
Yeah,
so yeah, I have some questions I'm gonna throw over in the chat. And really, what I'm doing, what I'm hoping to do with these questions is really start to orient us, the two of us who are facilitating this room, and everyone else, to a place in our lives where there may still be some pain,
yeah,
some aggravation, and some activation. And so, as you're sitting with these questions, really sit with them, really be with them instead of going to the place of, oh, I can look at it from a distance. What I'm hoping for is really even engaging your breath, going into your body and feeling what these questions start to bring up for you. Because what we want to do is start to mine the things that supported us along this journey. Because Zara and I don't have all the tools and resources and answers
Hmm.
for how things support us or how things give us relief in the
Hmm.
full part of this journey. We have some expertise and some skill around what to do at each one of these phases, but it all has to be made personal. So this
Hmm.
is all about really seeking into yourself and seeing what shows up. And so for this
Yeah.
first part, I'd love to see y'all just put your whatever answers that you have over in the chat. And what I was hoping to have happen was, since Denard really does engage the chat a lot, was that Denard would be able to go through these answers, bring up some of the repeating things, some of the themes that are happening, some of the patterns, and then the three of us would be able to riff on what kind of tools would be able to support these different things that have showed up, or
Yeah,
how
because
to engage the different ones.
they already know, bro. Because I'm horrible with the chat. I
Hmm.
can't I can't listen and read at the same.
Yeah, same, same. I ain't got
That's
that
that
shit.
neurodivergence
Denard
for me.
has the hell has that skill down pat. I'm like, dang, I
Woo.
can't do that.
Yeah, I'll be sitting there thinking, how did you see that and heard them? Like,
Hmm.
but yeah, that's just brain
So
of mine, but I love it.
yeah. So over in the chat, I have over there, it says the beginning context questions. And so we're talking about the beginning. What I have underneath that is the wounding event beginning being when we became consciously aware of the wounding. So there can be times when, somebody has betrayed us. A rupture has happened in the relationship, but we didn't know about it, whether through deceit, whether through ignorance or whatever. We didn't know about it. And then that during part, so that's the before part. The during part is when we become explicitly aware of it. It's been revealed. We saw that person with someone. We saw a text. They told us something happened where it's like, now I have direct experience, confirmation. All these feelings that I have are true. And now I feel the weight of all of it. And then there's that soon after that's like, okay, I've got that. Now I'm starting to process and starting to make sense of, this is what I believed beforehand when this was actually happening. Now I know that there was something happening underneath, and now I have to start to rearrange my perspective, rearrange how I move, rearrange how I respond to myself and to this other person or this circumstance. And so that's the soon after. So the questions: what was the first moment you felt relief in the beginning of your most recent wounding?
Mm,
Before, during, or soon after directly experiencing this wound? So when you first felt relief. When I even think about this whole like first feeling relief before I realized like what was going on, really before it really hit me, there was a time that someone actually was sharing their own story, and it made me realize, oh, I have to leave this person. It was a relief before really sinking into the depth of the wound and really realizing what was going on, that I actually felt relief through somebody else's story. And so that's kind of like an example of that first moment feeling relief in that before, during, or soon after.
okay.
Second
All right.
question: what helped you become more aware of your wounding event before you became fully aware? So these next three, so that first one is a general question, is a great way to get there. These next three are kind of like deepening into the experience to be able to find what helped you become more aware. So you had a nagging thought, an unsettled feeling, you were investigating curiosity. What helped you get to the place where you directly experienced it? Some things that helped you along the way. Next one: what words or actions most offered you relief during your wounding event? Something gave you perspective, or they offered their presence or material offering to you, where it's like, I've just found out, now I'm dysregulated. My mind is going wild, my body is going wild, my emotions are going wild, and something or someone, me or someone else, gave me some words or did something with me, to me, or at me, that gave me a little bit of, okay, I'm not so overwhelmed. And then that last question: what tools or resources most supported you soon after your wounding event? So making sense, easing stress, engaging better in the situation. What kind of things did you do every day or on a regular basis that supported you in being able to find like a center again after directly experiencing that wound? So those are your questions.
All right, cool. I already see Sophia is ready, bro. So let's see what you got. Sophia, talk to us.
I had raised my hand upon hearing the first question.
Hmm.
So my answer, I'm prepared for that one. Okay.
That's cool.
uh,
That's cool. That's cool.
so what helped you become aware
Hmm.
of the wounding? Um, it's when I actually, because I wasn't fully aware, but I became consciously aware of it when I made the decision to withdraw myself from the situation. That's when I really felt it. Because before that, I had like a kind of a seal. I had an impression that it was really hurting me.
Hmm.
But it's when it was when I withdrew myself the first time, I realized how much weight I was carrying on my heart and my soul.
Mm,
So getting yourself some space.
Exactly, exactly. Thank you. There's always a way to shorten what I'm saying, uh,
Oh no.
or to make it more impactful, and I love it. Thank you, guys.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, and this isn't really about like shortening it so that you have it shortened. It really is like there's a
y-
couple of different things. It's clarifying it so make sure that I understand,
yes,
and then there's also really being able to make it accessible for
yeah,
the
yeah,
child, the child part of us that doesn't really understand, can't take in a whole bunch of words and process it, or
ex-
just being able to digest. Oh, okay, this is where we can physically digest that information. Oh
and
yeah, it was this.
and I appreciate it, and I understand it exactly like you said. It's just that sometimes my words are exactly. So thank you for, and shortening was too short of a word. It's not what I meant. So. w- Um, So what made me become aware? So it's when I stepped back and I gave myself some space. What helped me feel supported
Hmm.
is I was speaking to a therapist, and she already had hinted a little bit at it. And I was downplaying how much it was hurting me because I wasn't conscious and something in me didn't want to accept it. So that I felt supported because she had a lot of empathy and clarity in her treatment, let's say. Um,
Mm. So it
what
was
to
like being heard and having that reflected back to you was like kind of even gave you a different way to see what you were in rather than just being overwhelmed by it.
exactly and validating the fact that it, you know what, it makes sense that now it's like decompressing and now I'm allowing myself to feel.
Hmm.
mm,
And
mm.
Sophia, before
Hmm.
you go further, I just want to make sure that because we have so many other questions, so many other people,
Oh, okay, okay,
and
okay.
everything like that. And so, yeah, I appreciate you. And in
Thank
other
you.
rooms, we'll be able to go through all the questions. I just want to
Okay,
make sure to get like maybe one or two from the people that are here. So,
perfect. I'm
yeah,
fine with
thank
that.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Sophia. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. AZ.
Hi, Zara. Hi, Mike. Hi, everybody. I'm still excited to have the best facilitators in the same room. I'm honored to be here. I'm humbled to be here. I'm gonna give Denard a hard time when I see him, but
Good.
anywho, let me behave and give my answers. For me, it was the pain that caused me to realize something was not working. I was in so much pain and I couldn't have the verbiage for it. And once I went to the therapist and expressed what was happening, she was able to pinpoint the codependency, the trauma and everything like that. And then it wasn't until I was in rooms hearing other people's story, going through their experiences, until I felt like healing was possible because I was able to hear other people where they're at and how much pain I could hear in their voice. And that made
Mm.
my heart feel like, oh, I am human. This is part of the human experience. If they're feeling it, it's okay for me to feel it. It allowed me permission to feel. And
Mm,
having the facilitators hold this space and actually like um thematically experience what I was experiencing, it allowed the pain to flow, to
Mm.
feel safe and for it to flow. And I'm forever going to be grateful for that. Thank you for both
Yeah.
of you.
mhm.
Thank you for the circle back.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mm.
So yeah, in not only noticing the pain, but realizing that there wasn't an immediate link to where it was coming from, and being able to do some investigation around it. Let me take it to a therapist. Let me take it to a few different places to see if I can find where the location of this pain is coming from, where the source of this pain is coming from. And then once that opened up, you were able to engage even more.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Mm,
because with
Yeah.
the doctor, they just medicated me, and by getting medicated, it just numbed it. I needed to feel it to heal it, but by medication, it pushed it further down into my psyche,
mm-hmm.
in my bones and my psyche, and I was carrying it every day, but I was taking the medication to be okay with the pain of the
Yeah.
reality that I was experiencing.
Yeah.
But here, I was able to process it and feel safe and verbalize it and be heard and not gaslit, not minimized, not manipulated. And
Right.
I felt like it's okay to be me.
Hmm.
It's
Mm,
okay. What I'm experiencing is real. It's not all in my head. I don't need to minimize it. I don't need to suppress it. I don't need to numb it. Oh
Absolutely.
right.
Yeah.
my
That's
gosh.
key. That's really key to, like mentioning that, because most of us, how many of you in here, just show of hands or some type of sign that, we get the headache and we immediately just go take the Tylenol. And so then we suppress the pain, or we try to take care of the pain, but we don't
Mm-hmm.
take care of where it's coming from. We don't
Right.
take care of the root. So then we sort of kind of, for lack of better words, we actually abandon ourselves. We abandon the
Mm-hmm.
messaging. The pain is a signal. It's indicating that, hey, your hand is sitting on fire. And so
Mm-hmm.
even like with the science even behind just a Tylenol, what it does is in the brain, it just blocks the pain. What is it, Mike? It blocks
Receptors.
the pain receptors. Yeah, but it didn't fix why the head was hurting in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Do
so
you
many
know
of
if
us
it's
in
like
us,
dehydration? Do you know if it's,
right.
you just thinking about something, overthinking about something? Where is this actually coming from?
Hmm. Yep. And so many of us have been trained to just have that way of dealing with our things. Is just stop feeling this way. That's why sometimes I'm a little, it's not just, your life is not just about being happy, you all. It's also how you get to that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I think that I'm just going to be happy because I just threw something on top of it, I even say that sometimes with gratitude, where we just use gratitude as just a blanket to cover up a whole bunch of crap that's going on in our life. And
Right.
it's like, and at some point it's going to come back up, so good for you, Z.
Yeah.
Good for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really
Can't,
dig how too that it was that
Amen.
there's that whole thing of like the therapist being able to point perspective and for you to back to yourself, and it's like, yo, yeah, yeah, this is something more that you're not able to see, but then also having that even double validated by other people expressing that they're feeling a similar way. So it's not just a professional, but it's also people that are in the same place. And I love
mhm.
how that speaks to how important community is.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Candace?
Hi. Yeah, I found that was really interesting that you said that about the Tylenol and just trying to fix, something like that. Because what came up for me when you said that, thinking about my relationship, when I originally came to Circles, it was to I was desperately looking for answers on trying to, find what I could do to fix, quote unquote, my relationship, fix him, fix everything that was happening around me that was, quickly spiraling and going down this rabbit hole. And never, I just couldn't wrap my head around what was happening. Um, so what I was doing was I was trying to fix him to make myself feel better, kind of like you do with the Tylenol. That kind of came up for me. But anyway, what I slowly learned was that that wasn't what the case was, because I started hearing, all these people that were going through the same exact thing that I was going through, and was completely blown away. And then after, several months, I started realizing, through all the betrayals and the lies and the cheating and just, the gaslighting and all of that, what I started realizing was I need to work on myself. I started learning, I've got some codependency issues that I need to work on. And so I just sat in that for the longest time, realizing that I can't fix this person and I can't fix the relationship. I really need to focus on myself to feel better. And that's what I've been really trying to focus on. That's what I've learned through all of this.
Yeah.
Mm.
I really, and that one's one that I try my best in that especially in the very beginning stages where we are. And you talked about it perfectly, where it's like I just wanted to know what the hell it was that I was dealing with. Can I get as much information as I can about what it is that I'm dealing with, and then I can deal with it. And then the realization that yes, as much as we can find out about the other situation, what we realize is, oh, I'm missing. I'm
Mm.
missing. My
Mhm.
experience is missing. My information is missing. What my capacity is and what I'm actually going through is missing. Let me find out more about that now.
Yeah. 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 And I did speak with Denard, just real brief. He can't get in the room at the moment.
Oh no,
But
the app is apping.
yeah, happens. So he's trying to get in, y'all. He's messaging circles and stuff
He
on
was
that.
too tardy. He's not allowed in anymore.
Not allowed.
So he can't get paid for this gig,
It's like nope, right?
Czar. So it's like we had to divide the club
Yeah.
pot just
Hmm.
from the two of us.
Yep. Uh-huh. Yep. Well, too bad. So sad. Who was that just speaking? I done missed, talking to him. Oh, Danielle.
Hey guys,
Hey.
these questions, Mike. Can we just talk about the concept of relief for a minute? Because
Mm-hmm.
what is relief? What does that feel like? How do you know once you have been relieved? Because for me, I'm still very much seeking relief. Relief from the thought patterns, relief from the people and places and things that I used to visit. Relief from my own internal and external world. I feel like I'm in these rooms, I'm going, to seek therapy. I'm going to be with people who are peaceful and kind and loving because I need relief.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that like my life moving forward almost needs to embody that because
Mm.
some wounding is so um, bold, I guess, in our lives, that it makes us, for me at least, I had to have like a humongous shift in what it is that I'm searching for. I'm not necessarily needing all of these things that I needed or wanted before my wounding, but now like it becomes very aware of what I am needing. So
Mm-hmm.
relief, even answering that first question, I'm thinking, man, I don't know what it even feels like to be relieved.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think one day I'll be sitting at a pool and I'll be like, "Oh man, here it is. I'm out of survival mode. I'm out. Here it is." So, but thank you for the questions.
Oh yeah, and thank you for your answer because it really does highlight too, like how we define certain words and certain terms.
Yep.
Because even as I was crafting it, I wasn't thinking about relief in terms of the finished product relief, where it's like, okay, it's all done, etc. I was just even thinking relief from the amount of intense overwhelm. I stub my toe, I feel a whole bunch of pain, and then right after that, I feel some relief. and maybe using the word some relief, or maybe really realizing that relief is a part of a spectrum and we can feel little bits of it at a time. Maybe some of that relief is a healthy relief and some of that relief is a distracted and unhealthy relief, a suppressive relief.
Exactly.
So there's a whole bunch of things that can show up just around that word. So I really appreciate you demonstrating that.
Yeah, I've seen that too with some, like even certain situations I've been in where it's you had a certain piece of acceptance with it. You like you in that first shock of things that have happened or happening, and then as some of that shock shifts, there's a sense of a piece of relief, like you said, from the intensity of what we actually kind of deal with. Not necessarily saying that we've resolved yet,
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
but yeah, so different spectrum of things that can happen in that relief phase.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
before we move on, I want to just speak to what I think it's either Keela or Kayla is saying over in the chat about hearing our stories and how beneficial that will be. That will definitely be coming. So we're priming up in
Hmm.
here in the very beginning, and as the three of us come together, we'll definitely be sharing parts of our own
Hmm.
story. And if you were hearing her earlier, I shared just a little bit of mine, and just in terms of an example, but it will be showing up for y'all. So
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Who we got here? Lim? Lim, go ahead.
Yes. One thing about relief before I mention um, the, what I did in the beginning is relief is not simple. It's complex
hmm
and it doesn't come via Amazon. It comes with a lot of work, time, and patience. And I wanted to mention the moments that I did on the beginning. I read until my eyes got crossed, trying
mm
to seek an answer. I journaled next until I saw that I was repeating myself, basically. And third, I went what I thought was professional way. I wasn't used to thinking with community because that's not how we did it during my
Mm,
earlier years because I'm
mm.
66 now.
Oh, still wet behind the ears. Go ahead. No.
I'm saying.
That's awesome. And then when I went medically, it was through a professional person who just was a big turnoff to me, and that killed more time for me to wait. And finally, I drove for help, and then COVID hit, which basically saved my life because it gave me the time that I never thought about having.
Mm,
And I did it through a therapist via a phone call connected with my job, my profession. And now it circles, and I'm just like elated because I have community. I have people who are saying what they've gone through and about their pain and about their roots of the pain and what helped them to get better. And your other questions that we're going to be talking about in a few minutes. But that's number one. Question
Yeah.
number one, I answered. Thank you.
mhm.
Thank
Yeah.
you,
Oh,
Lim.
thanks, Lim. And welcome,
Uh-huh.
Denard. Glad you made it. Now he don't want to talk, bro. He don't. Anyway, let's go ahead to Eva because we need to let him gather himself. So we're gonna go on over to Eva real quick. Go ahead.
One of the things that for me, because I did miss a bit of a bit of the beginning part of this whole series, but for me, it's consistently challenging myself to have almost like exposure therapy because I do have a very hard time in public, and now I'm starting to foundationally execute my own therapeutic exercises so I can reintegrate and start being more comfortable and put myself in uncomfortable situations and be able to verbalize exactly what is difficult for me and what would make those okay. But I think one of the things that is kind of difficult for me is because I've always been a person that has been pretty comfortable talking about things, and it's easier for me to heal it, like as a partnership,
Mm,
Mm,
because
mm,
you build so much depth in a relationship with
mm,
somebody when you do some of that healing together. And I'm totally aware that you can't do all healing with a partner, But now that I'm alone, I feel like I'm missing a really good, rich part of healing. And that's where you get to really open yourself up with somebody rather than just yourself, because that's a huge part of acceptance and healing is being accepted by somebody else.
Mm, mm.
And like the holistic totalitarian aspect of yourself, not just, like as a coworker or as a friend, but like as a lover, as a best friend, as a wife, as a business partner, all of those things together.
Yeah, Ginger, your mic is open. Go ahead. Go ahead, Eva. Sorry.
Yeah, so I was pretty much done there. But yeah, just like the healing as a partnership or healing in a relationship. Like there was a girl, Meg, who spoke, I think it was yesterday, on something to that regard, and she had such a beautiful experience that she laid out for everybody. And I was like, man, I am so happy for her. But then I looked back and I'm like, now I'm doing a lot of this alone. And I feel like I'm missing, not necessarily missing, but there is healing that you can't do alone.
There is. I appreciate you saying that, Eva, because that's hard to say a lot of times, especially in today's world. Because again, there's the dual piece of that, especially if we're talking about healing from a person that we're actually having the breach with. A lot of we've been divorced or just going through different things, and we'll get into that. I know definitely in the weeks to come. But 100%, just like how you find community here, there's some people or some things where we're looking for some of that ability to be able to reconcile and restore, even in whatever that may mean. It may not even mean keep the relationship as it is, but I understand what you're saying with that. And so there's pieces that we're often looking for potentially from someone that we've been connected with, that we've experienced a breach with, and so I really hear you on that. I honor your heart in that. I have a lot of what you're talking about with that, because one thing that I take into consideration when we're navigating through our healing journeys and different things is who we're actually dealing with, who we're talking to. Many of us have different temperaments. I ask the question sometimes to people, been asking it this week in Circle. Some of you have heard me ask this question. Are you a person that's a who I'm with kind of person? Or are you a who I want kind of person? Or are you a what I want kind of person? And people that are who I want kind of people, nothing wrong with it. I'm kind of like that. But the downside to that is sometimes it's a little bit more difficult to navigate some of the healing things, because you're looking for these people to be there with you in it, or this particular person to be there with you in it. And so it feels a bit challenging, to deal with that.
One of the things that I did, that I think we might have had a misalignment on, is that it's not necessarily a reconciliation with the partner that has hurt you or betrayed you, but
I get
even
that.
there's some healing that even if you are separated and you're moving into a new relationship, and you feel like you've healed, but when you start a new relationship with somebody, you realize that there's things that you just didn't even grasp, that you cannot heal alone.
Gotcha. Yeah. And I was trying to incorporate some of that too, but it makes sense. So years ago, when I started, even my study in this and even becoming a specialist, we actually, what you're speaking to is we heal in relationship. There's only so much healing you're going to do sitting off in the corner by
100%.
yourself.
Yep. 100%.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep. So yeah, my bad if I missed you on that, but yeah.
Oh, whatever. Like, I'll get over it. I'm fine.
It didn't really even sound
I'm
like
a grown woman.
Yeah, it didn't sound like much of a miss. And I also just I want to put right next to what y'all are saying about healing in relationship, but that relationship with self, so very important to any kind of healing that's going to happen to
Yes.
relationships outside of yourself.
Yeah. All right, let's get Neha real quick, and then you all let's give us a little bit of minutes after that to kind of do some wrap up. But go ahead, Neha.
Oh, sorry for the delay. Hi, Lienzar, Mike, Denard. Oh my God, this is like a powerhouse.
Denzer Mike.
Den,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what we are.
that's what I named you guys. Den's our Mike.
And I still want to say too, where it's like, you got the three of us across the street from another powerhouse voice. Tina is like doing some kind of show over in the Paramount across the
Uh-huh.
street, and they got lines. She got lines across the block and everything like that. And we over here trying to have to Wonder Twins activate just to get something
I get,
going.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
3 to
yeah.
1. Yeah, Tina definitely is the powerhouse, and then you guys had to align together.
Yeah. We're gonna have to do a
Thank,
circles conference one day. But go ahead, go ahead.
thank you so much, guys, for taking the effort to create this powerhouse, and thank you for the platform. I just resonated to the Tylenol because that's the analogy I always used from 25 years ago. I'm like, I am putting to my pain, I'm just having Tylenol, trying to calm down Neha's pain, and it would subside, and then again it would pop up, and I had to again increase the dose and go do different things, and again it was just a Tylenol fix. So over the years, I figured out that yes, Neha could probably find relief from 10 different versions of Tylenols and 10 different intensities of Tylenol. But I realized if I really wanted a little bit of a permanent solution in my human experience, I will have to change it from a Tylenol to something else. So that's when I found out that I probably will have to choose peace. And that's when I chose the drug called Peace. And that peace was for Neha as well as for Neha's soul. And it worked for a little bit, but again started having issues, again started having conflict between the Tylenol and Peace. And, like kind of, it was not a good solution enough now because
Hmm.
I'm just like, okay, Neha is at peace. Okay. My soul is at peace. Okay. Why am I still in pain? Why am I
Hmm.
still upset? Why am I still sad and
Hmm.
depressed? And then I got a better answer, a better drug. And the drug was peace for all,
There we go.
forgiveness for all.
There we
And
go.
those two drugs combined with that formulation
Mhm.
of peace, not for just me, even
Exactly.
the other person who is in front of me, evidently causing the pain and the distress, that person is also striving for peace. Once I accepted that, boom,
Yeah.
any problem comes in front of me, any pain comes in front of me, I'm like, am I wishing peace for that person as well? Well, I don't
Hmm.
have the capacity. This is ridiculous. Why the hell should I worry about that person who's already giving me the pain? uh-uh that is it would aggravate me even more. So
Hmm.
that's when I
Hmm.
understood that, Neha, you have to forgive that person and accept that that person also deserves peace as
Now,
much as you do. If
now
they
we
don't
talking
choose
wholeness.
peace, that's their problem. If they don't
Right.
choose that drug, that's their problem. But you
Right.
just have to accept
Right.
that you wish that for them. Thank you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. If that's not happening, we're not returning to wholeness,
Mm,
oneness, true
mhm,
integrity of life. All right. But ooh,
And,
ooh.
and just to
What?
wrap it up,
eh,
one word,
Mm,
mm,
one
oh,
word, peace
okay.
and forgiveness together combined. That's the final drug that I found, which is really an all-in-one drug for me, at least, is inclusiveness. I,
Inclusiveness.
I
Mm,
include you
okay.
and all the other living beings on earth, no matter how much pain they're ready to inflict me. I am at an inclusive mode of energy. As long as they're
Okay.
breathing, they are a part of my life. Thank you.
Gotcha. Gotcha. You speaking my language, my friend. Yeah. you know, Man, Mike, Denard. Hmm.
Well, I heard an unmuting Denard. I thought I heard one, but
I
no.
thought I
There
did
it
too.
is.
Oh,
There he
yeah,
is.
yeah,
We
yeah.
need to mute
Hey!
Denard. This is the trio? Denard, you're leaving us out here. What's going on?
Yeah, we're in here. We're in here like swimwear. That's what I would say. But I don't want to disrupt. I don't want to disrupt the vibe that's happening because I'm really lacking the opportunity to kind of steal the show, but I don't want to. I just want to say
Hey,
that,
Denard. Hey, Denard.
yeah.
Hey,
That's a,
I am absolutely about including you in our cool group.
ah, okay. I
It's
was, I
not
was
a
a,
dynamic trio without Denard. Denard, you
yeah,
gotta fit.
you're right.
Yeah,
You're right. That's why it starts
you
with a
need
D. I
him
was a
here.
Spice Girl in my past life, but I'm gonna say this real quick. Neha, you're getting at what I see it as, and we'll talk about this in inspiration. But I see that as what we call shalom, right? That
mm-hmm,
wholeness, the peace, the forgiveness,
mm-hmm,
to being able to love your enemy. So I don't want to. I'm just saying that I think you're that natural drug, that drug that kind of activates the heart, the palpitations of the heart to start to beat in a way to cause the blood in the veins to start to revitalize in places that were once dark and dampened by the hurt and the pain. That's deep what you're saying. I just hope that we can sometimes do that surgical penetration spiritually,
Hmm.
that can be practical, just like this sensing sometimes. What I notice is that we desire it, but we don't want to feel it, right?
Hmm.
Because it requires going and moving through that pain.
mm-hmm. Yeah. You see how he just came and steal the show, Mike?
Oh yeah. Oh
Hey,
yeah.
sorry, Denard.
You know.
I will give an
Hey,
answer, quick
wait,
Nah,
answer.
Neha.
you're not-
Wait,
yeah.
Neha. We only
Uh-huh.
got a 2-second thing left. So y'all, let's let us wrap that up, y'all. You know. But anyway, any final words, Mike? Like, what are you thinking? What are your thoughts?
Well, it's really cool to hear from others, like in the very beginnings of these wounding, whether it's the wounding itself, or our experience or our awareness of the wound. There was making space, putting distance between me and the event, me and the person, me and the circumstance. There was that. There was following the senses, following. Oh, I have some pain. I have a feeling that's not attached to something immediate. Let me investigate that and see where that takes me. There was being able to notice other people feeling and saying the same things that I feel and say inside, because so many folks feel like we're all just complete individual people, but to have somebody else also feel that way and express that, the permission being given to, okay, now I'm allowed to explore the depth of this because I didn't think that I was before. And so many other things where in the beginning, there is something that will help us to navigate the intensity of the
Yeah.
onslaught of information, pain, etc. And so
Mm-hmm.
now we get to go look at, all right, here are some things that work for them. Maybe one of these things will work for me, even presently, even if I'm not in the beginning, but I might be in the middle or I might be toward the end. Maybe see some of these things in the beginning I can look back at and say, hey, this really worked in the beginning. What if I reintroduced that
Mm-hmm.
into where I'm at right now? And I feel like that's where the teaching part comes in. Now we get to pick up a couple of these things that other people said and see if they've actually worked for us or if they can work for us going forward.
Yeah. Finding the wisdom that lies within. Listen, y'all. My goodness, I think I got a little bit even more excited, just about where this is going to take us over the next 3 weeks. And I hope y'all are excited about it as well. These things are pivotal. They're life changing, and I'm gonna say this: they're pivotal and they're life changing when we let it be, when we
Hmm.
allow it to be, and when we bring our whole selves to what this really, is and what it really can be. Man, did y'all enjoy this session? Just this first little session, even though Denard was late. Did y'all enjoy? Did y'all?
We need a redo. We need a redo. We
Need a
need a
redo.
redo.
So we need to
Yes.
add an extra week on it because Denard was late. Oh, did I say Denard was late? I didn't say that, did I? Oh, okay.
Wow.
So
Wow. Wow. What type of sensing are you experiencing right now as you start to hate? Is
I
there is
missed
there
it. What
a
did you say, Leonzar? What did you
oh
say?
Jannar literally asked you, Czar, if you could feel the hate running through you.
yeah,
He
he
went
asked me
Star
that.
Wars on you. Can you feel it?
He asked.
What is it? Can you describe what it's like to hate so much?
I'm gonna make him wait for that answer. I'm gonna make him. We had to wait. Y'all listen here. I really, truly am honored to be in this space, sharing this space with Mike and Denard, and sharing this with all of you in this space. And again, I just want to extend my thanks to all of you again, because again, the messaging was, the email that the three of us got was that you guys asked for this, and so we, on behalf of the trio here, I just extend my thanks to you all for just trusting us enough to walk alongside you as you move in your healing. Like, that's huge, y'all. Really big thing. Remember, these groups are recorded again, and so thank you, Denard and Mike. These are recorded. Give it a few days. Give it a few days before Circles can kind of get it all together and then put it on YouTube. And we'll make sure that between the three of us, that you get the link for that if you aren't already following the Circles channel. It's on YouTube. It'll be on YouTube. We'll make sure that you all get the link for that. But please mark your calendars. Mark your calendars for next week. Denard, mark your calendar for next week. So that you can dog it. I'm sorry. Y'all know how.
Boy, it's rough out here, man. I deserve it. I deserve it. Go ahead, bro.
Oh, we love you, bro. We love you, bro. Real fast. Z, go ahead. I want to make sure I respect everybody's time. Go ahead, real fast, Z.
It's truly an honor to have you three in this room, in the presence, and to be able to hear you guys and have the value that you guys bring to the space. Like, I've listened to you guys in so many different rooms all these months, and I've learned so much, and I've felt held and healed in y'all's space. Like, right now, I could cry just knowing that you guys have put your time together to be here with us today. And I'm looking forward for the rest of the sessions in the future. Thank you guys for existing and doing this godly work. Not everybody chooses to be doing this in their lifetime. Thank you, truly, honestly, deeply. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're so welcome, D. And I take your words and let them plant in my heart. That's some good stuff I want to keep in there. So appreciate you so much. All right, folks. And if you have any listen, if you enjoyed it, well, we already know y'all kind of wanted to sing. I was going to say my normal spiel after the master classes was to let Circles know that these are the kind of things you need. But if you have any complaints whatsoever, the number to Chick-fil-A is 1-800. Call Chick-fil-A. It'll be their pleasure to take any complaints that you have. All right, y'all. Listen, y'all get up out of here. In the meantime, in between time, listen, keep living in the direction of your healing, and we will holler at y'all next week. Have a good weekend. Don't do anything we wouldn't do. All right? Peace.
Take care.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Denard.
Denard. Thank you, Mike. Thanks, everybody. Thank everybody for being here.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Denard. Thanks, Zara. Appreciate you guys.
Welcome. You're welcome.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. I got to get that number to Chick-fil-A. That whole.
Yep.
All right, bro, man. I appreciate you. Thank you so much,
1-800 more chicken. 1-800 more chicken, or more beef.
1-800 chicken.
I think that was like eat more
Is it beef? More beef?
No, that's right. I'm thinking of the billboards with the cows that say "Eat more chicken."
Oh yeah. All right, man, bro. I love you. Appreciate you. See you next week.
Yes, love you too. You take
All
care,
right, man. Peace.